on Osrc News at 7. Statewide common entrance examination holds without movement restrictions amidst June environmental sanitation. Optimism in Rivers State as President is among key stakeholders. APC National Chairman Ganduje resigns. And on the foreign scene, Liberia holds state funeral for former President Samuel Doe, 35 years after assassination. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news at 7. My name is Oyewumi Ayin. The common entrance examination for admission into public secondary schools in this state at designated centers throughout the state's 18 local government areas. According to a statement by the Administrative Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Akindele Ige, candidates' accreditation will begin at 8 a.m. Ige urged parents and guardians to ensure that children arrive at the examination centers on time, equipped with their registration slips and necessary writing materials. In the meantime, the June environmental sanitation will take place across the state tomorrow with no restrictions on human or vehicular movement. General of the State's Waste Management Authority, Fola Omowole, announced that the exercise will proceed without limiting movement to accommodate pupils going for the common entrance examination and their parents. He urged all residents to use the opportunity to clean their surroundings, emphasizing the importance of community participation in maintaining a clean environment. Mr. Omowole also reassured the public of the current administration's dedication to restoring Ondo State's reputation as the cleanest state in Nigeria. All is set for the confirmation of all commissioner nominees by the Ondo State House of Assembly as the legislative arm concludes the screening of 4 additional nominees. The list of the latest screened nominees were received by the House last weekend after the first 12 nominees. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshinela Adesoye has the details.
The Ondo State House of Assembly has concluded the screening of all commissioner nominees forwarded by Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, signaling readiness for their official confirmation and ratification. The final phase of the exercise, which featured 4 additional nominees, Banji Ajaka, Bola Ademuwagun, Akinshola Olaleye, and Adesoji Afolabi, afforded the Committee of the Whole to question the nominees on their professional background, vision for service, and understanding of governance. This follows the earlier screening of 12 nominees who were received by the Assembly on June 13, 2025, bringing the total number of commissioner nominees screened to 16. Speaking after the exercise, some of the nominees expressed satisfaction with the process, describing it as thorough, transparent, and reflective of the Assembly's commitment to promoting effective governance in the state.
Very fair, objective, honest, it's a discussion amongst, brothers, or frank.
Oh, it was fun. Very, and the house is thorough in asking questions, and asking religions, the politics, how do I cook, how do I do it.
They were objective. I think their major target is how am I going to contribute to the agenda of this program. It's very cool. Checking what my certificate, we received it as submitted. They also asked me about the knowledge of governance.
They also expressed readiness to work in tandem with the vision of Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa.
Ready to confront all these challenges frontally, ranging from human resource for health to infrastructure,
I have a lot with my experience in political and in the world add to the upliftment of this state.
That Mr. Governor put me that I won't be able to perform very well to his expectation and beyond his expectation by the president.
I'm well prepared. The only thing is that I'm coming to the government, but before I'm coming to the government, I'll be following the government. We are part of the APC, we are part of the Mr. Governor agenda.
The Speaker, Olamide Oladiji, acknowledged petitions received from groups on issues relating to gender imbalance and zonal representation, but clarified that no nominee was found wanting in terms of credentials or character.
We are still going to advise Mr. Governor in our own little way that he should try as much as possible to balance the power. Maybe subsequently there are still other positions, he should try as much as possible to spread it. But the petition are not all that significant petition. They are not petition that has to do with certificates. It has nothing to do with forgery. It has nothing to do with lack of performance. It has nothing to do with head grant.
The ratification process is expected to take place in the coming legislative sitting. Upon confirmation, the new commissioners will be officially sworn in by the governor and assigned portfolios. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi, Osrc News.
President Bola Tinubu has convened a private meeting with key political figures from Rivers State in a bid to address the ongoing crisis in the region. The meeting took place at the presidential villa in Abuja and brought together suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, Minister of the
is the 26th of June 2025 that peace and finance is the 26th of June 2025 that peace has finally returned to the state. We all agreed to work together with the governor, and the governor also agreed to work together with all of us who are members of the same political family. Yes, just like humans, you have disagreements, and then you also have a time to also settle your disagreement, and that has been finally concluded today, and we have come to report to Mr. President that is what we have agreed. So for me, everything is over, and enjoy everybody who believe to work with us, to also work together with everybody. That there's no more acrimony, there's nothing to say we are disagreeing. We have all agreed on everything. So we thank God. For me, it's a day we have to thank Almighty God.
For me, it's very important that this day has come to be. What we need for the progress of Rivers State is peace. And by the special grace of God this night, with the help of Mr. President and the agreement of the leaders of the state, including our leader, peace has returned in Rivers State. We'll do everything within our power to make sure that we sustain it this time around.
And that's the Federal Capital Territory, the Minister Dayeson Wike speaking, and also the suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara speaking on the ongoing crisis in the region. And now the national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, has stepped. That's the National Working Committee. We announce an acting chairman soon. Details surrounding his resignation remain unclear. At first time, however, reports say the SY chairman has moved most of his personal belongings from the APC National Secretariat. In the meantime, the state chairman of the Social Democratic Party suspension of the national chairman, Alhaji Shehu Musa Gambam, and 2 other members of the National Working Committee, NWC, over alleged grave allegations of gross financial misconduct, embezzlement, misappropriation, and diversion of party funds. Chairman of the forum, who is also the chairman of Lagos State Chapter, Femi Olaniyi, said the suspended officials should allow for a thorough investigation into allegations against them by the NWC. Flanked at the briefing by 22 other state chairmen, Olaniyi, who stressed that the fight against corruption must be genuine and open, as these are very vital in the SDP, said the party is open to a coalition that will liberate Nigeria. He assured all members of the SDP nationwide and all Nigerians that the leadership cleansing in the SDP is not about power play or 2027 election, but about doing the right thing in the party. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, says Nigerians earning less than 250,000 naira monthly will be exempted from income tax under the new tax laws. According to
is the law about fair taxation. Fair taxation because if you are poor, you shouldn't be paying taxes. In fact, our hope and aspiration is that because if you are poor, you shouldn't be paying taxes. Is the law about fair taxation. Fair taxation because if you are poor, you shouldn't be paying taxes. In fact, our hope and aspiration is that our country will get to a point where people who are living below poverty line are given some support by the government so they can meet their basic needs. So not taxing poverty is fairness. We also have the provisions to cater for small businesses. We have, depending on who is giving you the data, somewhere in the region of 30 to 40 million small businesses. The vast majority of them are nano businesses. Put it differently, they're just people hustling to make ends meet. They have no ability to pay taxes to the government. So in the tax law as well, they have been exempted from all manners of taxes. We want them to do business, want them to grow, and then when they scale and become bigger, they will have the capacity to pay taxes. We also have large businesses. Large businesses would also have a relief in terms of their tax burden. There's a provision in that tax law to reduce the corporate tax rate from 30% to 25%. Once the time is right, Mr. President will issue an order for the commencement of that reduction. In addition to that, we have relief for businesses to reduce their cost of doing business. For example, if you put up a factory, or you buy any equipment or any assets, or you even pay for services to be able to do your business, any VAT you pay, you will get it back from the government, essentially bringing down the cost of your business, which hopefully you can also pass some of that to consumers in form of lower prices, but also make more profit. We want it to be more profitable so you can expand your business and employ more people. In terms of basic consumptions, like food, like education, healthcare, accommodation, transportation, we've also removed the VAT on these items so they can become more affordable. So essentially, in a nutshell, that Nigeria Tax Act is about fair taxation. It's also very progressive in the sense that the high net worth individuals will pay a little bit more, which is right for you to have a progressive system. Now, that is fair taxation.
That's the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele. We go on a quick short break. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. Please don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Hooray! Niger Delta, it's time to give thanks because the NDDC is 25 and we invite you to join us for a Thanksgiving service to commemorate this celebration. The past 25 years has been a period of great development and milestone achievements for the Commission in all 9 states of our oil-rich region, such as over 5,200 kilometers of roads constructed, over 57,000 solar street lights installed across the region, the 132/33 kV electricity substation in Okitipupa, and many more. For all of these, we have deemed it fit to say thank you to the Lord. Date: Sunday, the 6th of July 2025. Venue: St. Thomas Anglican Church, Akure, with the reception to follow immediately at the Dome International Event Center, Akure, Ondo State. The NDDC, 25 years of making a difference.
Thank you very much for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. The International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, also known as World Drug Day, is celebrated every June 26 to raise awareness on the hazards illicit drugs use pose to society, strengthen action and cooperation to achieve the goal of a world free of drug abuse. Commemorating the day, stakeholders in the states expressed deep concern over the growing link between drug abuse and time surge in criminal activities among youth, calling for action to eradicate the trend. Joy Pius reports that the theme for this year's event is "The Evidence is Clear, Invest in Prevention of the Scourge."
The global illicit drug trade presents a multifaceted challenge that touches the lives of millions worldwide, from individuals struggling with substance use disorders to communities grappling with the consequences of drug trafficking and organized crime. The impact of drugs is far-reaching and complex. International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, also known as World Drug Day, established in 1987, is observed annually on 26th June to strengthen action and cooperation in achieving a world free of drug abuse. Joining in this year's event is the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Ondo State, as well as the Nigeria Police Force, Ondo State Amotekun Corps, Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC), Nigeria Immigration Service, and students from secondary schools across the state, collaborating to raise awareness on the dangers attached to the intake of these illegal substances. Ondo State NDLEA Commander Nanzan Sala noted that this year, over 100 people have been arrested in connection with illicit drug trafficking and have been charged to court, ascribing the success to the collaborative efforts of sister agencies.
Our effort first has to do with the collaboration with other sister agencies because nobody can do it alone. And by our mandate, we are engaged in arrest and investigation, subsequently to prosecutions, and then we also render drug demand reduction, which has to do with counseling those who are already hooked to problems of drugs, and then creating public awareness against the dangers of drugs. So towards this effort, we've been making a lot of arrests and seizures. We've been making also convictions and forfeitures of assets of criminals in order to discourage them from the illicit business.
We want parents, wards, teachers, and guidance to ensure that they take proper note of the behavior of their wards. At times, search their bags to be sure that they have not joined bad groups that indulge in the abuse of drugs.
Medical professionals who x-rayed the prevalence of the use of illicit drugs in the states and Nigeria called for stringent measures to curb the menace.
If you are looking at the way out of this current situation, you must be looking at it from a multidimensional perspective. One, you must be thinking about how to involve every segment of our society in the awareness campaign against drug abuse. All of us have to know something about drug abuse. The market women, the artisans, the young people, the youth, the students in our various institutions of learning, the apprentices here and there, the professionals, the teachers, all of us have to be involved. Massive awareness campaign against abnormal use of drugs.
The government needs to enforce the law that guides importation of drugs. NAFDAC is trying. We have to support it, and government should have the political will to support NAFDAC and the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria. They are these two. The NDLA, they are doing a good job, but they must be in partnership with all these two other organizations.
The stakeholders described this year's theme, Evidence is Clear, Invest in Prevention, as apt, as it highlights the need for urgent, evidence-based protective measures in addressing the world's drug problem. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Helping the needy is a fundamental virtue emphasized by Allah in the Holy Quran, and the Osrc community of Muslim women, ACMW, is putting this teaching into action. Leader of the group, Munirat Ogunlayi, during a council visit to the Ondo State Renovation Corporation, OSRC, said the group is committed to supporting the less privileged, particularly children in creches and orphanages. OSRC's Abidemi Akerutoye reports.
In the conference room of OSRC, members of the Akure community of Muslim women gathered with a clear message: compassion has no boundaries. The leader of the Muslim women, Munirat Ogunlayi, explained that their mission was driven by a desire to impact lives and uplift the vulnerable in the society. She stressed the importance of media support in raising awareness and garnering collective goodwills for the cause.
What we really need is a creche and orphanage. And there is a reason or reasons why they ask. I don't know, maybe I'll be allowed to say that. One, it's like, okay, we have creches all around, so why are you so particular about creche? Okay, most of the creches that are around, especially that the poor people are unable to access, are usually managed by people of other faiths. And so, not showing their children, socializing them to other faiths is something that is affecting them, that is worrisome to them. Then the second aspect is the issue of orphan. We have the motherless baby zone, which happens to be a government institution.
The Director General of OSRC, Mr. Kenneth Odushola Stevenson, expressed appreciation for the gesture.
It's a thing of joy for someone like me to see people who have sojourned overseas, work with development partners like the World Bank, the IMF, to come back home and sow seeds. For what you're doing, to be honest, is one of the most inspirational ideas and things that people could do. And you will be an inspiration to many. Amen. I know orphanage homes, you know Miss George, that does one in Lagos for so many years. She has been so committed to that cause. And children that grew up from that orphanage have gone out to become doctors and become lawyers all over the places. And just like you said, if we don't take care of the vulnerables, we will become vulnerable ourselves to their acts. And what you're doing is to put them and give them a home, and give them a shelter, and give them an environment that they never thought they would be able to have. For what you're doing with the association, Madam, I want to thank you.
It described it a noble example of giving back and pledged the corporation's full support.
For us, we can always give you, all we can do is to give you the necessary support. We say silver and gold we don't have, but the little we have, the voice, we'll be able to add to the efforts we're making. And I'm sure that's why we brought all the team here, so that they can collaborate and speak with you with one voice and give you all the necessary support that we actually assist the orphanage to stand not only once but continuously.
Thank you, sir.
So that people will know there's a place where you can get a home.
As the Akure Community Women Association prepares to reach out to the orphanage this weekend, their effort stands as a strong reminder of the power of community service inspired by faith and the role it plays in fostering development. Abidemi Akinrotoye, OSRC News.
The Okitipupa Oil Palm PLC has launched a security surveillance and clearance operation in Okitipupa, Irili, and also the local government areas of the state. The operation, carried out in collaboration with security agencies, is aimed at protecting the company's assets, ensuring smooth operations, and creating a safe working environment for staff and stakeholders. A statement by the management of Okitipupa Oil Palm PLC reaffirmed its commitment to operational excellence and community welfare. The company says its ongoing turnaround initiatives have repositioned it as a viable enterprise, contributing to government revenue and job creation across its host communities. As part of long-term growth plan, Okitipupa Oil Palm has rolled out a 5-phase redevelopment strategy which aims to restore plantations to peak productivity, expand operations to boost palm oil outputs, rejuvenate aging plantations, upgrade processing facilities, and enhance product quality to meet international standards. According to the statement, beyond employment, the company also runs a scholarship program for students from primary school to university level. The management appealed to the public to stay away from plantation areas unless on official business, citing safety concerns during security operation. The Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ) in the State Council has applauded the National Assembly for the timely passage of the University of Information and Communication Technology (ICT) in Ikari-Akoko on the state and appealed to President Bola Tinubu to promptly sign the bill into law to facilitate the university's swift commencement. Expressing concern over the increasing number of out-of-school children roaming the streets and begging, especially those displaced from northern Nigeria, the Congress called on both state and federal governments to develop programs to reintegrate the children into the formal education system to avert future threats. The NUJ Council urged members to uphold the principles and ethics of journalism, particularly truthfulness, and to contribute to nation building through responsible reporting. And on the foreign scene, hundreds gathered in rural Liberia to attend the state funeral of his brutal assassination. The ceremony held at Doe's home compound in Grand Cadet County is part of Liberia's ongoing efforts towards national reconciliation. Doe, who ruled Liberia from 1980 to 1990, was a controversial figure, and his decade-long regime was marked by violence and ethnic favoritism, but also some transformative policies. His assassination in 1990 was a pivotal moment in Liberia's two civil wars, which claimed approximately 250,000 lives and devastated the country's economy. The funeral also honored Doe's wife, Nancy, who passed away in May and will be laid to rest alongside him. The caskets were paraded through the county capital, Zedro, on a truck adorned with Liberia's red, white, and blue colors. Liberians lined the streets to pay their respects. President Joseph Boakai attended the ceremony and had earlier declared a period of national mourning from Tuesday to Friday, with flags flown at half-mast. The June edition of Environmental Sanitation News, and that's it. And that's the story for tonight, but before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that the June edition of Environmental Sanitation across the state will hold tomorrow with no restriction of movements to accommodate candidates going for common entrance examination into public secondary schools in the state. A statement by the General Manager of the State Waste Management Authority, Mr. Folau Mowali, urged residents to use the period to clean their surroundings. And we also told you that the Ondo State House of Assembly has concluded the screening of 16 commissioner nominees forwarded by Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, the Assembly had received 4 additional nominees after the initial 12, and all have been screened. And finally, we brought to you that President Bola Tinubu has hosted a closed-door meeting at the presidential villa in Abuja with key political stakeholders from Rivers State towards resolving the political crisis in the state. The meeting marked a step towards reconciliation, with both Fubara and Wiki reportedly agreeing to work together for the state's development. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Good evening.